Hey, everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here, and leave it to me to do some Cavs thoughts here after a nondescript, Cleveland Cavaliers victory over the Portland Trailblazers on a random Sunday, Oscar Sunday. Um, Donovan Mitchell doesn't play. The Blazers are 7 games under 500. The Cavs, hey, if Donovan Mitchell doesn't play, you're kind of just going through the motions, but the Cavs won this game. Believe it or not, this was their 60th game. They are now 50-10. They've gotten 50 wins in their first 60 games. That is a remarkable number. They won't equal the 73-win Warriors that they famously knocked off in the NBA Finals. They've already got 10 losses, but still, this is an unbelievable run that this organization has had in 2024, 2025. And they've only lost 4 times at home. Portland pushed them around. There was also some awful officiating in this game. Evan Mobley did not even play in the overtime, which is, by the way, the other part of this. The Cavs have played 60 games this year, didn't win or lose a single one of them in overtime. That's crazy. But the Cavs winning this game is just another example of why this team is fully a championship contender. And I am fully behind potentially seeing them win the whole effing thing. Because they had 6 guys in double figures. Ty Jerome comes off the bench with 25 points. DeAndre Hunter goes for 32 points, 5 threes, 8 of 15 from the floor. An unbelievable performance. And anybody who wants to talk to me about the best trade deadline acquisition, obviously Luka Doncic because of his nature. I don't think you're going to find a more important acquisition to any team in the NBA than DeAndre Hunter. Because that guy is a wing. He can guard. He made big defensive plays. I swear to God, every time this team needs a big shot, this guy makes it. It's unbelievable. Ty Jerome was everywhere in this game. Evan Mobley was kind of up and down. It sucks that he fouled out of this game. That was kind of the result of some terrible officiating. Jared Allen, interestingly enough, is not playing a ton of minutes late in these games. I mean, Darius Garland loaded up on minutes. Ty Jerome also played 36 in this game. They had 39 for Darius Garland. I mean, Max Strus played a ton of minutes. But listen, man, like, this was a win that, it could have very easily been, hey, it's a lazy Sunday. You're coming off of a loss. You're coming off of a big win, an emotional win in Boston. Your best player's not playing. You fall behind by 18 points late in the third quarter, and yet somehow, some way, you managed to win this game in overtime. Granted, it should have been over in regulation because there was a ridiculous foul where Max Strus got called for barely even touching a guy. And, Anthony Simons goes to the line and, hits 2 free throws, and we go to overtime. But the Cavs are able to persevere. This is what they've been about the entire time, the entire season. Listen, to me, it's always been Boston. They're the final boss of the NBA right now. Cavs have beaten them twice this year. And yeah, I understand that there was injuries on both sides through all these games. Cavs can go win a 7-game series against them. And you may be saying, Mike, why are you doing this and having all this information and throwing all this at you when you just beat the 27-34 Portland Trailblazers? Guys, the Blazers are going to be a problem. Denny Avdia, the Israeli-born former lottery pick of the Wizards, was all over the place. I mean, Shaedon Sharpe is a fantastic player. I mean, Scoot Henderson, who was a high pick, he's now like a 6th man for them. Anthony Simons had a great game in this game. Like Denny Avdia had 30 points. Like, Chauncey Billups is doing a really good thing. I don't know if Portland's going to make the play-in tournament or where their standing is in this play-in business. But Portland's a good team, and especially when Donovan Mitchell doesn't play. But the sign of a great team is, when you're in adversity or when you're in a position where you're supposed to be uncomfortable and you fight back, much like they did on Friday night against Boston, down 25-3 in the first, 5 minutes of that game. Jason Tatum just unnecessarily telling them to get the fuck out of there, and then they come back and win. Like, this is why it's such an amazing, amazing team that we are witnessing in Cleveland, Ohio. Like, it's really remarkable. They do it on bow tie night for Nick Gilbert. Rest in peace to Nick Gilbert. I mean, it's nice to actually see Dan Gilbert. He's not as visible as he was anymore, but there to honor his son. He stayed the hell out of basketball operations. He's honestly become one of the best owners in professional sports, and I never thought I would have said that 10 years ago. Um, but yeah, this Cleveland Cavaliers team is something else, man, because so many bad calls in this game, a horrendous officiating performance. If you want to use that as a referendum on the fact that there were two female officials, that's a you problem. This was just bad officiating. This was just bad officiating. Okay. It shouldn't have gone to overtime. But then again, in saying that, the Cavs were down by 18 in this game. They sleptwalked through this, but they're able to come back, fight back, persevere. And because that they are so deep and so talented and can come at you in waves, this is the definition of a championship team in the NBA in the year of our Lord 2025. This is the type of stuff that, teams are aspiring to be, being deep, being able to shoot the three, defending well, being very versatile in the way that they defend. They're very big. And then on top of it, they do something that most teams in their position would not do. And I could tell you that the Cavs years ago probably would not have made this bold of a trade to go get DeAndre Hunter. And DeAndre Hunter has rewarded them immensely since he got there. And this was his crown jewel of a performance, going for 32. A big reason why they won this game. Big defensive plays, big threes all over the place. Ty Jerome's just been doing it all year. You could pull a name out of a hat and pick the Cavalier that you want to be the sixth man of the year at this point. Evan Mobley might win Defensive Player of the Year. The Cavs aren't going to have an MVP candidate because they're just so dynamic all over the place. Donovan Mitchell, if he wanted to, could be an MVP candidate. But this team is so deep and so talented, it's insane. Kenny Atkinson will be the coach of the year. This has a chance to be one of the most magical seasons in the history of Cleveland sports ever. And that includes 2016. We will never forget that. This team's different. This team is different. And for me to come on and say this on just a random Sunday, middle of nothing, against a team like the Portland Trailblazers, but yeah, that shit mattered. That shit mattered. It's their first overtime game. Competitive game. They've been bludgeoning people most of the season. And yeah, without their best player, they go out there and win by 4 points, go to overtime. They're without, basically, in my opinion, probably their second or third best player, and Evan Mobley didn't play in the whole overtime. And they still won this game. The officiating was terrible. They still won. Championship level grit from this team. I fucking love this team so much. And if you haven't bought stock in the Cleveland Cavaliers, I would suggest doing it soon. I just put down like $100 bet on the Cavs because they were at plus 700, plus 800 in Vegas to win the championship. I would get your odds soon quickly because that number is going to go down. Mark my words. They can beat Boston. They can beat Oklahoma City. They can beat the Lakers. Boston and Oklahoma City, as far as I'm concerned, are the only two teams in the NBA that can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 7-game series. The Knicks can't do it. The Pistons are a nice story. The Pistons will be a problem. I don't think the Pistons can beat them 4 out of 7. Lakers can't do it even with LeBron. I'm just naming a few teams. Memphis won't do it. Like, it's just like those just off the top of my head. Milwaukee won't do it. Indiana won't do it. Houston's been a nice little story this year. There are only 2 teams in the NBA that are going to deny the Cleveland Cavaliers a championship in 2025. The Oklahoma City Thunder, who I honestly really don't know. They have a lot of interesting pieces to their team, and they're very, 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 very young. And then the Celtics, because, hey, they're the champs. You got to respect them, even though I don't like a lot of what they do offensively and a lot of the way that they play the game. But, yeah, what a win. What a win for the Cavs. Anyway, we'll have more here on the channel. Thanks for watching, and appreciate all you who have subscribed to the channel. Try to push to 600 here in the month of February. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.